Hey guys, good morning. We have Meghna joining in this Saturday morning. Meghna has been all over the news recently. So Meghna, do you believe in this tea or Nazarbandi? Have you tried that?
No, I'm
No,
not a
no.
very strong believer of that.
Okay,
But
you should definitely try that. So, friends, there's a new friend here, Meghna on WurkTV. He's here because she has done something really passionate. She's got a lot of recognitions for the activities she's doing. She's got awarded as Devi 2016. Very spiritual name, Devi. But she is, into transforming education for human flourishing. She is basically well recognized nowadays, not only because of her educational stunt, where she believes that life skills are very important for the kids, and the way her formula is completely different. She got highlighted because she did a complete transformation of a lake recently, and which was like well recognized by all the authorities, friends, communities who believe that this cannot be done. And the best part is it is not just Meghna and team, but it is basically the kids who came forward and took this initiative and made it happen, which is just awesome. So thanks Meghna for joining in. This is, I mean, so nice that you're here on a Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon to discuss this out. So how did this passion, how are you influencing? You're doing multiple stuff. You're on a woman entrepreneur. You're influencing in every activity that you step in and making it a huge success. So maybe you can talk about your journey. So Meghna and her passion.
good afternoon, Ravi, and good afternoon, everyone who are part of this show and who will be watching this show. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to come onto your show and express my story because so far it was always like, a particular topic which was given and then we are asked to speak on those lines. But thanks, Ravi, for believing that my story might be equally insightful for people that they can use certain tips from that. So as a child, I was a very quiet and highly obedient child.
Oh my
Is
God.
that what my grandparents and my parents tell that? Until I was 10. Yeah, I call myself a versatile daughter. Reason because at that tender age of 10, like my family was attacked by dacoits. You must have seen that movie, right? Like it's called Khaki.
Hmm. Hmm.
There's this story, the policeman tries to find that particular gang. It's a similar gang which attacked our house when I was 10 years old
Oh my God.
and robbed us penniless. So a little later, my own sister, she was treated for cancerous tumor. So these early experiences, like they shattered my innocence and the cocoon of safety. I would never feel that, I'm safe anywhere, like anything could happen anytime. So this kind of created that I need to be prepared for things and all of that. So so it's like that um, like becoming versatile was like my only option then I can say, like and maybe uh, like it was my addressed aggression that helped me excel in sports, in studies. I was recognized as an all-rounder,
Hmm.
and like at a district level sports, and like topped in academics at school. Like, but I'm ever thankful, like to my principled environment. Like, doesn't matter. Like, whatever the economic condition of the house was or the family was, like my grandparents and parents like created a beautiful environment, principled environment that I that shaped me the person that I am today. So at different phases, right? Like you understand different things. Like you your perception towards things keep changing. So yeah, when I was a child, like when I was little rebel, when I was in my teens, uh, yeah, I went to a to an extent where there was like my parents also thought that oh my God, is there any way that we can actually you know make
Control.
her feel or make her like make sense of what she's trying to do because I used to race bikes. This
Oh my
was
God.
a two-wheelers, like, those muscle bikes and
And
all.
which city was this? I mean, we're just trying to visualize your story. So where did this ride happen, and where are you riding the bike? So if you can connect, for friends like me, we can visualize it properly.
Absolutely. So, in my teens, I spent my time in Hyderabad.
Okay.
So, uh, like, I had, like, a bunch of very close knitted friends. So I was the only girl who could actually ride a muscle bike and, like, challenge them, like, and then our races would start near Tangband and then go all the way through Jubilee Hills checkpost to now current Madhapur or Kondapur junction.
Okay. So was Naga
So
Chaitanya
yeah,
also part of your group? I mean, because he
Nagaseki
was
is quite
pretty.
a young boy actually. So yeah, this was way back in 97, 98. I'm talking about.
Okay.
So
So
that's
yeah,
where, yeah,
the
that's
the
where
lady the lady who inspired Naga Chaitanya to take forward the biking in.
I don't know if I did inspire him or not, but yeah, I can especially say that there were not many girls who were riding these bikes, right? And then yeah, it was always a surprise for some of my group to like get all those looks when I'm riding along with them and all of that. So thanks that I mean I the biggest problem during that time for me was to convince my father to help me do anything because I had a lot of these ideas coming in, but then he wouldn't believe in anything because I'm not his ideal girl like daughter. So then I married early in life, I can say, and the only reason I got married then was to get away from my dad. So yeah, thanks to my husband, like I married my own friend. That's a surprise for me. So, like he went and asked my parents saying that I want to marry Meghna. Please come and speak to my parents. And
Wow.
this was the biggest surprise for my parents. Like somebody as cranky as Meghna, he wants to marry somebody like her. But then they were skeptical. Like they went and then my in-laws are very sweet family, so they were flattered with them, and then they finally fixed my wedding date and they came. Thanks to my husband that he taught me the beauty of what a relationship is. He was so patient in trying to you know bring that the feminine side of me out, I can say. And yeah, he's all like I can say I started seeing the world the way it is through him. Like after I grew up, I can say that is when I started maturing at a particular level and so on. So I can now call myself as a responsible wife. you know, and there is this proverb in Telugu, right? Like "Inta gelichi racha gelu" ani. So this is
Uh,
like you win hearts at home first, so that you can go and win the world over later on. So this has been like embedded into me right from a very young age. So whenever I wanted to do something, they would always say, "First, make peace with us." Then I used to get really didn't understand that, but then later on I realized like you need to collaborate and you need to learn these collaboration skills, and then it helped me a greater extent. So I now proudly say that I won hearts of my in-laws and then enjoying the fruits of it actually. So I'm blessed to gain that unconditional support from my husband and in-laws. And coming to the next stage of my life is like being a proud mother. This is my favorite part because I'm blessed with two adorable daughters who are already making me proud. So both are empathetic towards the world around them. They donated their hair and to cancer patients.
wow.
They distributed close to 15,000 saplings to fight heat wave in Hyderabad from their tender age as young as 7 and 5. So they've also become brand ambassadors for treism. And like my older daughter Bilva, she won viewers' hearts on the TV fame, the prize money in Milo Every Kotishwarudu, the Telugu version of KBC.
Oh wow.
And like at the age of 11. She's passionate about publishing her novel, and she's also come up with some hypotheses. So I'm just trying to see how I'm going to publish all her hypotheses and stuff. So my younger daughter, Pizza, she started her own healthy snacking store called Foodite at the age of 9 and is recognized as the youngest food entrepreneur of Hyderabad.
Wow.
So both now playing important roles in reviving this project to revive Medikunta Lake, and I'm happy to see them to grow up into responsible citizens. So this is more about me. And then when it comes to my passion, yes, I am quite passionate about education and quite passionate about few philanthropic sides of me where I started Save Water and Nature, and I mean I try and help students in my school, not just with the education, because it's more an integrated curriculum that we follow. So wherever I go around the world, I keep traveling because I'm also a counselor for many universities across the world. So wherever I pick something nice, I bring that to the school. So we were the first Indian school to be mentioned by Google for Education when they were hosting this particular platform in India, and now it is millions of schools are being benefited with that particular platform. And yeah, I'm passionate about nature, saving. But then I don't try and give gyan to anybody. How can they do it as such? Because I personally feel that more than you, your actions should speak. So I try and take up little projects and try and execute them to showcase, like, it is doable so that more people can join hands, because I don't believe that I can win the world alone. So I always feel I can be a part of it so that, I can contribute my side of it so that it would be easier for me to achieve those set goals that I have for myself when it comes to work or when it comes to philanthropy and all of that. Yeah, and so it's part of the school where I was teaching children. This lake revival thing also started off. So this is more or less about me. Yeah.
Superb. Good one. So just talk about the lake initiative in like 1 minute, because that's like a superb initiative.
Yeah. So last year, this time we started this particular initiative, and it started off with a conversation where I was having with the students about their rights and how can they stand up and then question people if something is not right and all, but they were like too small to understand all of that. So just to give them an example, I was quoting like, do you know who does this lakes, forests, mountains, all these things belong to? My younger students mentioned that God. My little older kids, like, said government. So I told them, no, it belongs to you, future generation. Oh, you should have seen that, the sparkle in their eyes, and then, like, wow, like, I always thought everything belonged to my mom or my dad or things like that. I mean, there are things that belong to me too. So the ownership, like, the way they took up that ownership from that day onwards is amazing. So that led to applying for, permissions. They faced a lot of issues. Somebody said that, you're grabbing the lake, and somebody said that we don't believe in you. Somebody said that you're already paying a lot of taxes. Why should we believe in you? In spite of all of this, our students emerged amazingly as good leaders, as good presenters, as good collaborators, as good many areas actually. So yeah, now if you see the before and after the lake, amazing. So they
Okay.
did not only contribute in the cleaning of the lake, but they also contributed in trying to bring the awareness around. And happy to say that we are launching a new hashtag from our school to carry this thing forward. So this is they did, like, support organic festivals. They did support. They conducted a 5K run. They
Mhm.
like, presented themselves on various platforms. Like, they went and met people, and wherever they would get an invitation, they would go. The best part is, like, I mean, there are a lot of best parts, and one of that is, like, I really wanted to quote here is like, when Tim Falney, this the environmental scientist from Australia, when he visited Hyderabad, I also took my students to meet him. So I asked if there will be a chance that they can actually communicate what they're doing. They said no, no, he has very limited time and all. But then I thought, okay, we'll just go sit there and listen to what he has to say. So our students were the youngest in the entire crowd. So he got curious and he said, to one of my students, how old are you? And this boy goes on saying, like, 9 years old, forgetting that I'm just sitting next to him. And then he looks at me and, no, actually, I'm 7.5 years old. So he wanted to look bigger than, like, and fit into that entire place. He thought that he pulled off that saying that, he's 9 year old, even though he's not. And then he gave his mic to my student, Arav, and he said that I'm interested to know what you are doing here. So you should have seen Arav's confidence. I'm here because I'm reviving the lake. We're halfway there and we're going to do it within no time. Like the confidence that he displayed. This is not any I did not make them learn anything or talk in a certain way. I did not prepare them in that zone at all. So, but then he was super impressed and he gave his card and he said, once it is done, write to me. I will come and visit your lake. I'll come to India just to visit your lake, he mentioned. That was like, one of the moments. And there's so many such things that happened, when I was taking them around and, making them understand how people would think, how things will happen, because they learn how to accept a no, they learn how to take that opportunity whenever they get it, because it was never, because how children are used, right? Like they're so used to teachers inviting them into the school. They're so used to the cushioned environment by the parents. They're so used to that attention all the time. But outside world is not that. They had to wait hours to meet any government official. They had to learn how to take a no from people who say that, oh, we don't believe in you and all of that. But it's a good journey that they've learned. I can say they're more empowered now.
Super. Good one. I mean, I think that's an awesome experience for each and every student who was part of this. So good. So Meghna, we have some rapid fire questions for you. So we want to also check out how.
This is something you feel like, okay, fine. Rapid fire itself, it's kind of like, your heart rate starts, raising a little higher. Really, okay, what kind of questions would be coming my way?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm all ready. Let's do this.
So how many missed calls you have on your phone?
How did you even guess that I would have missed calls? Okay, that's not an answer for a question. Yeah, few I can say.
Few?
I do
Okay.
have calls every day.
Okay. Do you like bright light as milky white or warm white? There are two bulbs which are available. Which one is your favorite?
Warm.
Warm?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, warm like one I have. But you're in a white light. You're right now sitting in a white light.
Am I? Maybe because the entire house is all white,
White.
black and white theme. So maybe it's just reflecting on me. Yeah.
What's the saying you always say?
What goes around comes back around. So if I wanted to say this to my children, I try and bring in that little drama also into it. I say oh, you're giving out good energies. Lovely, it's going to come back to you. Oh, you sent out such bad energies out. They're going to find you. So this is something I try and tell them and I show them. And sometimes I even went to a certain extent to show them that it works, because I don't want them to think that I'm just bluffing. So yeah, I do that.
Yeah. So we just came across some gold accessories. So where do you store that, and what's the passcode of the store well which you use? That was not part of the question, but yeah, you're welcome to share that offline. You can ping me separately because this is live. I don't want everybody to know. There'll be a lot of friends who will reach before me.
Right. Yeah. I'll tell you that privately. I can ping that to you privately.
Okay. Whom would you like to really punch on the face? See, being a woman and being on social media, you'll have a lot of people who are stalking you, and there's some messages. Some are like really irritating. Who is that one person who would like to really punch on the face? You don't have to name him. You don't have to really name him, but you can just say that person who did that.
Okay. If you would have asked this question 20 years ago, maybe I would have had a huge list. But then my main idea is like, the reason why you don't find me on Facebook as me, but as somebody else is I try to keep that private life of mine private. So, like, because thanks to technology, that I don't get to see everybody's messages only. And then, yes, I chose to see certain messages and I chose to ignore certain messages. Huh. I don't feel like punching anybody, but I would want people to recognize that, other people have limitations when they're trying to help you.
Okay.
You can't just take them for granted. So, or if they're patiently listening to you, doesn't mean that they don't have anything to work on or things like that. So, yeah. If you appreciate the kind of work that they are doing, yeah, I think acknowledging your you know time.
Cool. Okay, let's say Meghna is traveling on another workshop internationally, and she is staying in a nice five-star hotel, and by the time you came back from your workshop, you saw a dead body. And now you have to dispose the dead body in the hotel room. How would you do that?
The the hotel room that I am actually going to stay is
Yeah,
where the dead body is.
yeah. So you were staying in that room. By the time you went to your
Okay, I
workshop and
went
came
out and I
back,
came
yeah,
back and there was a dead
there was
body
a
in
dead
there.
body.
Oh my God. So if I have to put my Sherlock Holmes hat and try and find the solution for this, initially I would try and warn the hotel management that they have to attend to something, and maybe I'll also I'm not that person now that I handed it over to them. They will take care of things and all. I am that little nosy person that how let me see for clues. How this guy, who is this person? Is it like and how is he related to my room, or who stayed before me, or who's going to stay after me? All this stuff. So yeah, I would wear my Sherlock Holmes hat and then try and solve that also for them.
Yeah, after all that is done, will you be able to peacefully sleep there, or would you request for a change of room?
Do you think that they would be able to solve that in just one evening? I doubt it.
Oh,
I
okay.
definitely know. Yeah. So yeah,
We'll check.
I think I would just go for another room and then yeah,
How many times do you look at the mirror in a day?
once in the morning.
That's it.
That's it.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
Yeah, but then that's the truth. You can ask anybody that who knows me. They all know about this. That I only look at the mirror just once in a day in the morning. That's it. Again, next day until next day in the morning, I don't get a chance to look at the mirror.
Superb. What do you bring the most in a friendship? It's not what
Um,
you look for the most in the friendship. What do you bring in the most?
People say that I'm a good listener
Mhm.
and uh, and I don't judge. So that's why I think most of my friends feel comfortable sharing whatever that they share with me. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, cool. What makes you feel supported? You've been doing a lot of activities, right? You definitely it's not one man show.
Like,
So what makes you feel supported in some of these
the,
activities?
the genuinity in what I wanted to do, if I'm able to convey the same to the team, because it's definitely not one person that would be able to do. So I should say that I did work around my team so that they know what I exactly wanted, and then I would help. I would always handhold and tell them this is how I want it to be done, and creating that kind of a work environment always helps. So this is how I'm able to take up any you know task and I'm able to finish them because of the support of the team. So it's always a genuinity how I wanted to do and being transparent about it. So there are no hiding corners in that particular entire project.
If we have to join your bike gang, what are the minimum prerequisites that we need to have?
I don't do it much often these days, but then yeah, I did try once when this year started, and there are no prerequisites as long as it's just an early morning ride where I can feel the air through my hair and no, not many questions. I have few friends who are like that. Like, they just let me enjoy the ride. They just do that. So yeah, that's sufficient.
So
But
you
it's
would.
not. It doesn't have. But it has to be a geared vehicle, right? So it can't be just a kinetic Honda or a whatever scooty or whatever these days that we find.
So which bike is your favorite?
Uh, few the Harleys. Um, and then recently this year I went on a BMW. So yeah, that's like amazing. And yeah, the thing is, like, you have muscle bikes and then you have these fast bikes, right? So
Hmm.
I'm not just stuck to only one side of it. Like, so I can, like, sometimes if I'm like, I just wanted a calm ride, I can do that. If I'm like, I'm like bursting with energy and I wanted to do something, adventurous, and I wanted to try a faster bike and all of that. So yeah, because if I say only those things, no, the other friends who have other bikes will feel offended. So I rather not offend them. So yes.
So do you like to ride alone? Yeah, matlab, do you give your permission to your husband saying that, yeah, पीछे बैठो, या you say, यार तुम अपना bike गाड़ी लो, you can come along, but not on my bike. What do you do?
I never rode with my husband. I never do that with my husband. Yeah, he's very protective, like all husbands, like are. So I would never ride with my husband. Yeah, I don't mind being a pillion rider, or I don't mind having a pillion rider. But then, I like company, but doesn't mean that it has to be huge groups as such. Not necessary. So,
Right. So have you been to Leh Ladakh, Spiti Valley trip on a bike?
yeah. Not on the bike though, but I took my daughters around 3 years ago this time. Yeah, all in memory. Like, I keep. Yesterday I think we landed 3 years ago in Leh, and then yeah, today I think we were on our way to Ladakh.
Super, good one. With all this experience, Meghna, what would you do if you become the chief minister? What are the areas you would focus on?
This is the interesting question, and yeah. So, would I do if I'm the chief minister? Yeah. It actually took some time for me to actually think about it because, um, okay, I don't want to reinvent any wheels because until 3 days ago, I was thinking I'll change the entire education system. But thanks to the national education policy, like it's so perfect. I'm like, wow, if we are able to implement something like this, there's nothing like that. So maybe if I become a chief minister, I'll make sure that I'll properly implement this particular policy and also help other states also, because a couple of years back they removed the CCE system, like the complete comprehensive evaluation system from the education. That's a lovely way to evaluate a child. Like it actually helps, gives an overall improvement in the child. So they only removed it because some of the teachers or some of the schools didn't realize or didn't understand how it can be done. So maybe that is one thing that I would strongly work towards is education and empowering people through education and through health services. Because the things that I face on a day-to-day basis with my team, like it's a compulsion that we have to pay an ESI
Hmm.
to the government for all my team. But recently one of my the person who's working with me was working for us only for 3 months, and suddenly he met with an accident. So when he had to go and check in with the hospital, they said that no, only you will avail these things once you are paying ESI for 6 months. See,
Yeah, that is.
accidents are accidents, right? So you can't plan an accident only after 6 months after you pay an ESI. So when I went and I started fighting with my accountant, saying that I wanted to take this out and let me take a personal medical policy for all my staff, so that at least whenever they need it, they can use it. Then they said, no, ma'am, we can't do that. They'll send us a huge, you know, bill saying that you are not following the rules. So rules should be more for people, not it should not um, make you uncomfortable, or you should feel that yes, I got benefited with this, than thinking that I've been taken for a ride through this particular platform and all of that. Yeah, these are certain things that I would be looking at, and maybe um, quality is that I would be focusing on more in any task that you take, and transparency, because we see that there are a lot of good things which they announce, but when there is no transparency afterwards, where did you use those funds, and how did you uh, you know um, how much of it is being used, or how much of it has become useful for people around, because it's all public fund. It's not somebody who's sitting in that chair owns those funds. So I would make it a very transparent system for people to understand where and all these funds are being used. um, did I lose my chance to become a CM?
No.
I don't know. Yeah. So these are few things that I would be working on: quality, um, implementation, and health services, and education.
Super.
These are the areas that I would be working on in case if I become a CM.
Super. I think you are the first CM who said that, this new policy is really good. I would focus on implementing it. Everybody had come with like different ideas. You are the first CM who said, I will implement this because execution is very important. Plans can come, can go, but if it's not properly executed, they just perish. So, good one.
Thank you. So I won one word vote from you as the CM,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'm voting for Meghna.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
Appreciate that.
Thanks a lot for joining in, Meghna. So, friends, do connect with her. She's doing a lot of things in her capacity. There are very few people who do these things. Otherwise, most of us are like stuck with our regular routine, our job, our work, or our business. And थोड़े लोग करते हैं, थोड़ा हटके करते हैं, and that हटके personalities में Meghna is one. So we
Okay.
got some hidden talents also which came out today. So thank you, Meghna, for joining in. It's you're doing a wonderful job, and you're inspiring the kids who will definitely spread this across and will do miracles. And you're indirectly given a message to parents also that they can also contribute. So thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. And it's been a nice way, where I could share my thought process and all of that. I hope, yeah, I hope more and more people use a lot of common sense. Yeah. On that, can I share something?
Yeah, yeah, please.
Seeing all these talk shows, I got inspired, and we are hosting one,
Mhm.
and we are calling it Common Sense.
Common sense. Okay.
Yeah, common sense and more, a little more. It's all about regular day to day things that we come across, and what is a sensible way to handle these things. So it's not that we have any less of it. Sometimes it's because there's so much of information which is available on internet, but it is all scattered.
True.
We learn through experience, we learn through stories. So I'm just trying to bring those stories to everybody. I'll keep you posted on that,
Sure. So any common
because
sense things which are
you heard
relevant to me.
maximum number of stories from anyone.
Sure. Any common sense stories which are relevant to me, I'll also contribute. It's a great way to kickstart. All of us are doing our bit in terms of engaging people, passing information, sharing knowledge, doing our bit of positivity rather than just focusing on COVID. I think, yeah, God bless all of us.
Thank you so much and appreciate it. And have a great day, everybody. And yeah, stay happy, stay safe, stay healthy, which is very important from this year onwards. We have to remember wishing everybody a healthy year and healthy life. Thank you all.
Thank you. So Meghna के style देखे ना, so she is already saying party attire में आ गई. So do follow her. Thank you, friends, for joining in. Have a great Saturday. Thank you, Meghna.
Thank you. Bye bye.